Welcome to Sunday Brunch, powered in part by Backyard on Bell and Classic of Denton. The views and opinions expressed by the show hosts and their guests are those of the show host and guests, and not necessarily those of the sponsors, DentonRadio.com, or the Denton Convention and Visitors Bureau. For more information, visit the Policies and Procedures page at DentonRadio.com. All right. Well, we are back. We had a couple of slight technical difficulties, and it looks like we still had one. And this is not Sunday Brunch. This is Meet the Musicians. I am your host, Jake Laughlin, and I'm sitting with an amazing band known as the Buffalo Ruckus. This is a show where every Thursday we sit down with some awesome artists here in Denton. And then after this quick interview, we're going to get a great performance from the band live here in studio. So thanks for being with us, all of you, and thank you for being with us, Buffalo Ruckus. How are y'all?
Doing good, man. How are you?
Good. Super stoked to have you guys in the studio. I feel like I've gotten to know y'all for a while now, even before you were megastars of North Texas. So I'm super honored and humbled to have you guys in the booth today, and just glad you guys were able to join us. So thank you again for coming and being here.
Thanks.
Thanks for having us.
Before we jump in anything, let's get introductions from everybody. This is not the full band, but let's see who we have here in the studio, and we can give shout-outs to the other guys as well.
Cool. My name is Jason Lovell. Sing and play guitar.
Brad Hafner, guitar and mandolin.
Sounds good. And the other guys?
We got on bass guitar, we got our buddy from Killer, David Turner, plays bass for us, Sleepy Dave. And then our drummer is Jared Ford from Fort Worth, Texas.
Okay.
And then we have a guy named Josh Miller who plays keys for us when he's not helping front his own band called Brave Little Howl.
Very cool.
So, yeah.
Awesome. So for anybody that, if somebody hasn't heard of you guys, which is probably not a lot, but give us a quick rundown, the elevator pitch on the Buffalo Ruckus and y'all's sound.
Yeah, I guess the simple, quick answer is that we're kind of a southern psychedelic rock band.
Okay.
With a little bit of an Americana and bluegrass influence.
Nice. So if somebody were to walk up and say, like, if you were on stage and you heard two people talking and one said to the other, what kind of music is this? And the other one said country. On a scale of 1 to 10, how angry would you be? Okay, cool. So
yeah, wouldn't be angry. I think we keep enough of a boot in country to claim that a little bit.
Got it.
We might be a little too rock and roll for country, but
I think one of the best comparisons we had was by Bart Rose, and he said we're kind of like a Alice in Chains meets Alison Krauss.
Alice in Chains meets Alison Krauss. I like that. That's good. So, man, I think the first time I ever saw you guys perform, you were performing as this duo at, was it Heartbreaks and Hangovers out in Aubrey? Yeah. Man, that was a minute ago. But
right.
Somebody had called me and said, you got to hear these guys. They're awesome. And that was one of the only places I was booking at the time. And I was like, well, if they'll come, we'll have them. And I think we'd had a string of other artists that night. And everybody was fine. Everybody was good. But, it was just kind of having a good time at the bar. And then y'all got on stage and started playing. And it was like the whole room went and just turned to so you guys have always really captured an audience. And your records and your albums and all this are fantastic, but your live show is just out of this world. You guys bring so much energy, so fun to watch. You got a really cool thing going on. So how long has the Buffalo Ruckus been together?
it'll be 6 years this August.
Is that right?
Yeah.
6
years in August.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay. And you're playing kind of all over.
Of course.
Yeah. Of course. So where did the name the Buffalo Ruckus come from?
That kind of came from this idea of having a name that would just make you wonder and capture you from the beginning. Like what is the Buffalo Ruckus? And it's kind of something that describes our music. Mm-hmm. It's a combination of different sounds, and you're not quite sure where it's coming from. And it just it's hard to come up with a good band name. I think, and it was a long process, and once that kind of came into our ears, it was
It just you just
That's
knew that
it.
was the name.
Yeah.
Very, very cool. Now, Jason, have you been the lead singer for the full existence of the band?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, very cool.
Yeah.
So, and how long have you been a singer?
Well, I mean, I was raised in the church, and I sang, obviously, in elementary school
Yeah.
and middle school and things like that coming up. And I had some bands in high school, and I think I played in some bands in college, but I don't remember too well.
Okay.
But I kind of quit that. I've always sang and played guitar and stuff, but I worked like real jobs and stuff. And when my wife and I moved to Texas, she let me do this. Like
Very cool.
you know, so I've been a professional singer, making actual dollars doing it, little dollars, for about 6 years, almost
Very
6
cool.
years. Yeah.
Very, very cool. Well, the reason I asked that is you've got such a cool, unique voice.
Thanks.
That just, I mean, really, I mean, all of you guys are bringing a ton of talent to the table, and again, like I said, just capture any audience. But I've always felt like that voice of yours, everybody just immediately goes, "Oh, that's Buffalo Ruckus." When you're playing at LSA or you're walking by, everybody goes, "That's the guy." You just got a really cool thing going on.
Thanks.
With your vocals.
I can't take any credit for that. I didn't. Maybe my 20s helped me get that kind of rasp to my voice.
There you go.
But yeah, it's that's the thing people most tell me about my voice. They don't tell me it's, man, you got a good voice. They say you have a really unique voice. So
Well, I think you have a good voice.
Thanks.
That is also
Appreciate
unique.
it. Yeah.
But very, very cool.
Yeah.
So, so you guys have been playing all over. But any shows coming up that we need to know about?
Saturday we are playing at LSA Burger.
So just
right
above our
there.
heads.
Yeah. Right there.
Very cool.
Saturday. We've got a lot of shows coming up this summer. And do you want to touch on anything?
We're doing like Panther Island Pavilion.
Oh,
down.
very cool.
You know,
brewery.
Rockin' the River
Rockin' the
series or
River.
whatever that is. And
Yeah, that'll be a fun show.
August, we've got a tour booked up to go up to Wyoming, Colorado, New Mexico. Starting out of Lubbock, obviously that's where everybody starts out when they go.
Sure.
north. But playing lots of good dates. We got a friend who owns a ranch in Wyoming, and he puts on this Bullbuster Ball every year, where they have a calf fry.
Oh, cool.
And this will be our 4th year playing, I
Yeah.
think. And he's just a buddy that we met at a show at Billy Bob's.
Yeah.
He and some cowboy friends came down and play, and they were there for our first 2 shows at Billy Bob's ever. And he's like, man, you are great. Come on up here. And so we've kind of we've always, for the last 4 years, we've built a tour out of that one date to go up there and see them and hang out at his ranch a little bit. And,
Very cool.
then in October, we were hitting my home state, which is Georgia, going out of here, going to Alabama, and then Georgia, North Carolina, Tennessee. I think there's a hold on a date in Florida. But yeah,
Sweet.
so lots of stuff, lots of movement going on.
That's
with
awesome.
the band. Yeah.
Well, let's back up a little bit to something you touched on in Billy Bob's.
Yeah.
What is it like to play that stage?
You know, it was pretty awesome. I mean, to be honest, one of the first times, maybe the second or third time we played it was with, like, Chris Stapleton was there, and it was before he had won all his Grammys.
Yeah.
And, Merle Haggard was there. It was
Turnpike. It was great.
It was just a weird experience to be, like, a part of this backstage kind of culture with these artists that we've, looked up to.
Yeah.
And probably it was one of the more nerve-wracking shows that I feel like I've played.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it was all, couldn't have been any more of a positive experience. And
That's very cool.
Yeah, it's funny because I'm not from Texas, and so when they said we're playing Billy Bob's, I just thought it was a little joint,
Yeah.
And then that's on the calendar, right? So we're going to play Billy Bob's in a couple months, and my wife bought us tickets to go see Robert O'Keen or Hayes Carl, somebody there. I can't remember who it was, but then I got to see what Billy Bob's was. I was like, holy crap, we're playing here. So yeah, that experience was great. That was a 4th of July picnic that they had. And so
cool.
we got to open the outdoor stage one day, and then we got to open the indoor main stage one day. And like you said, I mean, we showed up there in our own cars.
all separately.
Separately. And We're looking at Merle Haggard's bus, and Stapleton's getting off his bus, and Brian Bingham and Turnpike, and we're like, huh, yep, we made it. And now we're in DentonRadio.com studio.
It's
true.
gone downhill
We've
since
made
then.
it.
I'm kidding. Very, very cool. So what was that moment? I mean, was it that moment where you guys were like, this band, like, this is going to do something?
I think it happened much earlier than that.
Okay.
I mean, to be honest, one of the first gigs that we played was a competition with the Range out of Dallas.
Right.
And they've been big supporters of us from the beginning too. And I think it literally was the very first gig that we played was that competition, and it was just like
really
the response was nothing I had ever experienced.
Yeah, it was great. Donnie Nelson was one of the judges of this thing. Donnie of the Mavericks, the Dallas Mavericks, and he, I think we had like 6 songs total before we played that.
Right.
So we played every song we had.
I love it.
And he said, it might have even been less, and he said, hey, you ready? You want to record a record? I'm gonna be your guy. I'm like, well, we're not.
And
so about 6 months later, he texted me. He'd gotten my number that night. He texted me and he said, hey, are y'all ready to record a record? And I was like, yeah, I think we are. And he helped us out on our first record.
That's really cool. Was kind of like, well, we're not ready, but we're going to do it anyway.
We're gonna do it.
I love it. Well, you guys have 2 albums out now, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And what are the names of those?
First one's self-titled. Second is Peace and Cornbread.
Peace and Cornbread.
Yeah. Peace and Cornbread.
And where did that name come from?
Oh, it's a lyric and a song off the album called High in the Garden.
Okay.
And there's a lyric that says, are you hungry? I'll fix you something. I'll fill your soul up with peace and cornbread. So he kind of harped on that lyric for a while, and he's like, that'd be a really good album name.
Well, the thing is, we had worked on that song and kind of arranged it, and every time he would sing that line, it was like, all of the lyrics, that was the line that stuck out to me the most. And I was like, it's such a cool like sentiment that it to me it felt like kind of an offering of this is what we have. And
well, it fits you guys so well.
Yeah, thanks.
It's a cool lyric, and really excited about the album. So what are the best links? People want to go find more of your stuff, Spotify, Facebook, all that. Just where do we send everybody?
BuffaloRuckus.com is the easiest. TheBuffaloRuckus.com will also get you there, and SpreadTheRuckus.com will also get you to the same place.
Love it.
And then you can find us.
Try all 3.
Yeah.
Yes.
You can find us on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. And
awesome.
there might be a Snapchat. I don't do any of that stuff. But
no, I don't think there is.
No, okay.
What's Snapchat?
I know. Well, I think it's where you send pictures of poo to your friends.
Awesome. Guys, thank you so much for being here.
Thank you for having us.
Y'all don't go anywhere, because we're going to break, and then we're going to come back, and these guys are going to play us a full set right here in the studio. So seriously, do not go anywhere. Stick right where you're at. If you're watching on Facebook or YouTube or Twitter or Denton Radio or the podcast or whatever, just hang, because it's about to get ruckusy. Take us out, Mr. Producer.
Well, thank you for tuning in. We hope you enjoyed the show. We want to thank our partners and sponsors who made this show possible. And now stick around for a word from all of us here at Discover Denton.